This video will cover section 1.6, which is metric to metric conversion. So there's a lot of ways of doing metric to metric conversion, and the easiest way, some ways actually will show you how to multiply and how to divide by unit or multiples of 10. And I think that's hard because you need a chart to do it. But if you simply learn the sentence, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, that's going to kind of set you up. So the K stands for like kilometers. So kilometers, it stands for kiloliters, kilograms, so it's the Ks. And the starting of the sentence is the larger numbers, and all the way down to the end of the sentence is the smaller numbers. So this is hecto, so we've got hectometers, hectoliters, hectograms, and then this is a G, grams, and you've got died. So there's two D's in this. So the one that's closer to the front is going to be our larger, so it's going to have 3 letters to identify it. So sometimes you're going to see a DA. So DA, decaliters or decameters, deca, DAL, and DAG, decagrams. You'll also see this one is also going to use DK. So you could also see it as DK, decameters, DK decaliters, or DK grams. So you're going to see this one that has 3 letters. Your B is your base. Okay, so that's just your meters, your liters, and your grams. So if it just has 1 letter, then it's in the B. So the second one is your deci. So it's just the D's. So it's going to be D, deciliters, decimeters, decigrams. C, we have centimeters, we have centiliters, and we have centigrams. And then finally you have your milli, which is millimeters, so 2 M's, milliliters, and milligrams. Okay, so that's kind of where we go with that. Okay, so I want to get rid of this for some more space. And you'll see also in the text and notes, I have graphs if you would prefer to try it out that way too. But most of my students, when I've taught it this way, they really like it. It's much simpler. It's just moving the decimal back and forth between your numbers. So what I want to do to use this method is, again, think about the letters, think about the order, okay? I want to go from millimeters to kilometers. So I'm going to start here, and I want to get all the way to here. So what I do is I don't count where I am, and I'm going to jump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got to go 6 spaces to the left from wherever the decimal is in this problem in order to get to my solution. So since this is a whole number, there's a decimal right after that 22. So really I'm moving that decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to the left and adding in zeros. So this becomes 0.123422. So I have all of my zeros in there. I've moved it out 6 spaces to the left. So that's how big the kilometers is. So basically you're just moving it back and forth over and over again to get this solution. Okay, so let's do it again here. So for this problem, I've got 3 kilograms, and I'm going to turn it into centigrams. So this time I'm going from this all the way down to here. So I'm going to not count where I am. I'm just going to count my first jump as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this time that decimal's after the 3, and I want to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right because that's where I'm heading. So this is going to give me 3, and then I've got 6 zeros. No, 5 zeros. I got to count. Yeah, because I moved 5 to the right from that 3. And so that's how big of the centigrams it is. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So I want to go from centimeters to, this is going to be the smaller one. It only has 1 or 2 letters, so it's going to be this D right here. Okay, so I just want to go from centimeters to decimeters. So I'm just moving 1 to the left. So I'm going to take my decimal and just move it 1 to the left. And so I now have 2.2627 decimeters. So don't lose any of your numbers, you're just moving the decimals. Okay, so here I want to go from millimeters to meters. So because this only has one letter, I'm talking about it being in that base column. So I'm going to go from here to here. So I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left. So here I've got 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left. So it's going to be 0.0000254 meters. Okay, so for the next one, we have grams to hectograms. So remember, it's just a single letter, so it's in the B, and we want to move it to the H. So it's 2 jumps to the left. So 2 jumps to the left makes that 1.276 hectograms. Okay. Here we'll try it again. I want to go from deciliters to deciliters. So here's my 3 letters to 2 letters. So I'm going to go from here, which is my larger, to here, which is my smaller. So I'm going to move it 2 spaces to the right. So my decimal is 2 spaces to the right. So I have 1, 3, 2, 4, 0. Okay, so notice I put that 0 at the very end. Okay, because that's going to give me the right place value. Okay, so I'm going to go from centimeters to millimeters. So that's just 1 jump to the right. So I'm just moving that decimal over 1. So it's just cutting off one of those zeros. Okay, so then it's just going to be 0.006. Okay, and then this problem right here, I'm going to go from kilometers to centimeters. So I'm going to go from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so this is going to move this decimal 5 spaces to the right. So then I've got 227,500 centimeters. Now there's one thing I want to point out on these. If for some reason I were to move, let's say I had a decimal, and I moved the decimal all the way to behind the 3, then the answer just becomes 3. These zeros go away if I move them past the zeros. So you don't want to have a 0 in front of a whole number. Like, we want them to look like normal numbers. And if I put 0, 0, if I were to write 003 with no decimal, that doesn't mean anything. So we don't want to write it that way. We want to get rid of those at the beginning of a number. Now, if I have a decimal at the beginning, like in these, you want to definitely keep the decimal in your zeros in this case. But if I move that decimal out, I want to eliminate that. So this is converting between metric. So metric to metric conversion. Please let me know if you have any questions.